Hello everyone and welcome back. This is game number 2 of the losers round 5 matchup between Scotty and Unicornattack. Excuse me. This is game number 2 and that means that it's Scotty's choice. He chose Slumbering Settlement. It's a great map, great for crabbing and cavalry actually. Being very flat and with the trees off on these sides you can just get crazy sorts of crab action. We're watching from Scotty's perspective. He is in blue as the Hojo. And he has a very similar army what he had last time with the Nodachis in front, katanas in the back, but he's also got 2 matchlock detachments, one on each side of the forest, that classic sort of detachment, a matchlock Ashigaru and a Yari Ashigaru. And over on Unicornattack's side, his is pretty similar as well to what we saw in the last one with the Yari Cavalry and the Yari Samurai and the Katana Samurai, but he is also bringing some gunpowder units. Matchlock Ashigaru, which actually seem to be very popular on this map with the matchlocks. That makes sense given that it's a very flat, easy field of fire right here. No bows once again for either side, at least none that we've seen from Unicornattack, who might have some hiding. The Yari Cavalry and Great Guard are back in the rear. There's a bit of light cavalry we see on the field in the middle, but it doesn't look like he's going for the horde of light cavalry this time. Ooh, look at this. Nodachis off in the trees, which have started running, and so they are now visible to us from Sky's perspective. Also with 2 Naginata monks. Looks like he wants to shut down this detachment right here. Maybe he was expecting a bunch of cavalry to come through the trees on this side, but he will only meet a nice little hail of gunfire here, but that will surely get overwhelmed in no time. Now we're looking over here. It looks like he wants to get the farmhouse. Good choice. I mean, if you have the time, why not capture the buildings? Because no cavalry is going to get through this anti-cavalry army of Ashigaru, or matchlocks and Yaris. Definitely not going to happen, but a cavalry unit over here for Unicornattack is running out. A light cavalry gets a nice angle off, and the matchlocks are not able to shoot. Gets a good charge, kills about 20 men, and that light cavalry will get killed by the Yaris, but they're going to buy enough time for the infantry to engage here and clean up this detachment, so Unicornattack's going to get a nice early victory and only lose the light cavalry, if he loses it at all, because his morale is still in the yellow and could potentially be saved. They are wavering down to 18 men, so essentially taken off the field, but if you can take out this infantry detachment, totally worth it. Great thing about light cavalry, you don't have to really worry about conserving them because they're so cheap. If they, as long as they do their job, doesn't matter if they die or not really, because, hey, 400 Koku, that's nothing. Matchlocks do manage to get out though, and they are reforming. Maybe they'll get some big shots off, and if this Yari Ashigaru can hold long enough for the Matchlocks to get some good shots, and he could do a lot more damage than he should be in this one. Light Cavalry is pulled out, and will hopefully, for Unicornattack, he'd be moving them around to the side and trying to hit the Matchlock Ashigaru and tie them down, but the Matchlocks are now shooting indiscriminately into the mass. Light Cavalry has dismounted. Maybe it's a better choice actually to be capturing the shrine at this point, as the Matchlock Ashigaru are routed, or excuse me, the Yari Ashigaru are routed and will now go after the Matchlocks. Over here in the middle we have the cavalry running right into the melee line. It's a nice charge into the Matchlocks and going straight through to the swords. That's what I'm talking about. Spread that cavalry out and get that big long charge across the infantry line. Dead bodies everywhere. Huge hit to Unicornattack's infantry here. I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand that, especially if the Nodachis come in for round 2, which they are. Bonsai is activated, and oh man, this could bring some real pain on the infantry line Unicornattack and open up his general to be completely exposed to the second round attack of katanas, or potentially some cavalry here. Anything here could just destroy the middle and split Unicornattack in half, which would be just awful. So the Yari Samurai are using advanced rapidly, trying to plug that hole. They will plug it for now, but that's a lot of katanas coming in, because this detachment's just been distracted so well by this little detachment of Yari Ashigaru and Matchlocks that they're not going to be able to make it to the battle in time. If Scotty acts fast here and really capitalizes, then Unicornattack is just going to be crushed here in the middle, and that detachment will be easily swallowed by the remnants of Scotty's army, which is just, oh, they're just smashing right through Unicornattack here. It's nice and wide, and I mean, Scotty just got such a great initial charge off there that it was too much for Unicorn to take for his main line, and this detachment's not going to make it over here in time. And even if they do, a Yari Samurai spread out nice and wide is going to be there to stop it, getting some nice blocking action in there. Take them over the team, as Yari Samurai are wont to do, and that's what they're heroes for. That's why we love them. Yari Samurai are definitely the unsung heroes of any army that brings them. And the cavalry, once again, for Unicornattack, I think he's bunching up his cavalry way too much, and they're just allowed to get tied down here and cut down in melee, as they are Great Guard and Yari Cavalry, so the Great Guard will do pretty well, but the Yari Cavalry will take a lot of casualties, even against swords. So really needs to spread out that cavalry better, I think. I think that's one thing that's really been hurting him in this series. He got away with it in the last one, could do really great infantry engagements, but the infantry engagement in this one has definitely not been as good. And the Nodachis and Katanas are breaking off to now go and fight the detachment which is an interesting choice. I would have maybe brought all of those there, at least just one to hold him off. And I'd just try and focus on killing this chunk right here in the middle. He really needs to take this off the field. Once he does, the other attachment will fall no problem. But regardless, it looks like Scottie's very much in control in this game, and there's going to be nothing stopping this. Just those huge initial charges going to be so big. And look at this, the general is now going into the general of Unicornattack. Not getting off a great charge as they were mounted, but very dramatic here with both generals going at it all alone. But Unicornattack seems to be pulling his general away a little bit. And actually, Scottie took some casualties in that opening charge as well, so we'll see. This whole detachment, the cavalry got tied down in one big blob. I think it was a big mistake for Unicornattack. Even though his infantry did get beat up early in that game, I think that if he had sprouted his cavalry well, he could have really turned the game around, but they just got tied down, and so they will get cleaned up. But there's some wavering on Scottie's side, too, so we'll see if they can hold out. The general is also engaged with the katanas here. We'll see how this goes. The general for Scottie is mounted up and looks like he will be used in a shock troop role, which is good for desperate situations, though. No, they are dismounting and will be going in to stand a fight, so Scottie intends to just grind this one out. Despite... Ooh, and Unicornattack's really turning this one around. This detachment has done a pretty good job, though they are hurt. All of them are under half strength, except the Nodachi coming in. And unfortunately, once again, we have another replay cut short by corruption here. It's really unfortunate because it was getting dramatic, but again with corruption, who knows what could have happened. And we probably would have seen a battle closely in Scottie's favor. Go back to the main menu, some posting commentary. I'll see you there. Well, this corruption seems to be a little worse than previous corruption because I think we're having replays that are being cut short. Because I know that's what happened with some of Bell's replays. And that was a very exciting match going into it. Who knows how much it mirrored the actual battle, but it was probably pretty close as the troop movements were all pretty logical given the situation. But I can say that it was Scottie that ended up winning that match, and so we will be going on to game number 3. Big highlights of that match. It was a really large detachment for Unicorn to be putting off in the trees. I think it was a little too much, considering what would be going through the trees. Meeting a similarly large infantry detachment seems extremely unlikely. Most likely it would be just a couple cavalry units or maybe one of those matchlock detachments as well. So putting all those units over there in the forest I don't think was a very good decision because it left his main line a little bit open to attack. And those big charges by Scottie just really hammered through that infantry line. And again, with this cavalry usage, was clumping them all together and didn't spread them out well enough. In the heat of the moment, it's pretty easy to think your cavalry can just come in a big blob and just push right through anything. But when they're in that blob, they're actually less effective because they don't get really great charges off. So I think Scottie really played that match really well. And Unicornattack, actually, he did a good job of damage control after the fact, but a few big mistakes did him in there. So that would mean the series is tied and we're going on to game number 3. I will see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I apologize for the corruption, but what can you do? Thanks for watching.